Don't worry about it. I got her.
Is she all right?
Yeah.
All right,
Cheryl! Come on!
keep your baby out the street. She gonna get hit one of these days.
You got some blow? You got some rock? I suck your dick.
Just keep the baby out the streets. And change your diapers. They almost smell as bad as you.
Alright. Start first by giving all praises and glories unto Yahweh. Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem Harakat Kodash. That's the name of the Heavenly Father and His only begotten Son. All praises and glories due. Double honors to the apostles and the elders at the great millstone, who rule well and lead and feed the flock. And greetings, salutations, and blessings and much love unto those that that are given their life, diligence, and freedom to earn their salvation. That will be of the elect. Shalom unto you. Yeah, man. You see the world star. See what it says? Sickening. Teen mother explains what she did to her 4-month-old daughter after she allegedly caught her cheating with her boyfriend. I'm not even going to get into a 4-month-old cheating with a boyfriend or the boyfriend. Now, okay, this story may not be real because it seems so far-fetched, but it really doesn't seem that far-fetched that this could be happening in 2019. And you know who?
Like I said, I had got in trouble because I left her at home by herself, and she was on the swinging. And I left her home by herself, and the swing was on the floor, and she was halfway out the swing, and one of the neighbors saw her because I left the door open. So one of the neighbors was passing by with their nosy ass, because a lot of people don't know how to mind their own business. Mind your own fucking business. Stuff that have nothing to do with you, you don't have to worry about it. Mind your own fucking business. But it was somebody who have no motherfucking life, and since they have no life, they called the police because they saw her on the floor, and the door was wide open. So I came back home, and there was authorities there. But it took me a little while to get out of that mess. I had to talk about things and stuff like that, but I did get out of it. And since she basically got me in trouble because I could have got arrested. So since she got me in trouble, that's when I really started to despise her.
So since my 4-year-old got me in trouble, that's when I started to despise her. You heard it here first, folks. When my 4-year-old got me in trouble. Because she was at home swinging while I was gone and I left the door open. You know, nosy ass neighbors saw the little baby in there by herself and called the police. But since she got me in trouble. This is the mind state of the women of our nation, you so-called Negro, Latino, and Native American women, of the children of Israel. These curses are real, okay? And like I said, there's channels like World Star that feature this type of stuff. Tommy Sotomayor and his channel features this type of sickening behavior by the women of our nature against the children. I mean, men as well, but this one is another one. I mean, and I haven't even, I'm 58 seconds in, and she began to despise her daughter. Matter of fact, I'm going to read the scripture now, sitting up here, Deuteronomy 28, I'm going to start at verse 56. It said, the tender and delicate woman among you, which would not adventure to set the sole of her foot upon the ground for delicateness and tenderness, her eye shall be evil toward her husband of her bosom, and toward her son, and toward her daughter, and toward her young one that cometh out from between her feet, her own children. Her own children. We haven't even gotten to the 4-month-old cheating with a boyfriend. Not the daddy, but with a boyfriend. A 4-month-old. So let's do the math. 13 months ago, if we figure that the child was born on time, and the process of pregnancy going the full term of 9 months old, right? So 13 months ago, this lady had hard to call her a lady, but this lady had a child, and got pregnant, and 4 months later, it's a new boyfriend. That's not the daddy, because it says boyfriend, not the husband. It says boyfriend, and was cheating with him. Unbelievable. I mean, but it is believable. It says, cometh and towards the young one that cometh out from between her feet, and toward her children which she shall bear, for she shall eat them for the want of all things secretly in the siege and straitness, wherewith thine enemies shall distress thee in thy gates. Now that's going into cannibalism, but you see how cannibalism is just easy to believe. Simply, it's just easy to believe that these people will eat their children by the way they treat their children. Okay? So I'm going to stop the scriptures here, and I'm going to continue the video, and we'll come back to the scripts.
When she was like a month and a half old, she was constantly flirting with my boyfriend, and she did it for literally months. Like, he would change her diaper, she would be flirting with him, and literally just like...
How does a 6-week-old baby flirt? 6 because she wants attention, and she gets it? Unbelievable. And what's crazy, it's not even far-fetched to believe these sea monster children, I gotta get that one, sea monster children would do that type of stuff. It's crazy, man. This is wow.
Looking at him, basically trying to get him to touch on her. So she was flirting with him for a really long time. When she was 4 months old, that's when they finally had sex. She lost her virginity. She was 4 months old. That's when they finally had sex. I gotta say this other thing real quick. The unbelievable part is that this story isn't coming out about this lady being in jail. For the things that she said already and the things that she's about to say. But it's still, for some reason, I have a vivid imagination, but come on, this is too, you can see this thing. You can see it really happening. It's crazy, man. And after that, she basically had sex with my boyfriend, and that's when it all
4-month-old
went
has sex
downhill.
with her boyfriend.
That's when I was like,
and the tone she's speaking in is speaking like the little girl has the problem, and not the boyfriend, and not her. That's the part that's...
know what, this bitch already got me in trouble with the law. She's sleeping with my boyfriend.
With my boyfriend.
When she was 4 months, that's when they finally had sex. And that's when I was like, all right, you want to be a little slut? Then we gonna benefit. Mama gonna benefit off you being a slut. So I started making some money off this little hoe, so she wanted to be a little dirty ass little hoe. So I started pimping her out. I started making money off of it. I want to make sure I don't miss nothing in this story, because I don't want to talk about this no more after this. So I started pimping her out. I started making that change. I started making that little money off that little hoe. So I was getting paid big bucks. Men were paying like $300 a piece. Some of these men were paying $300 a piece, close to $500 a piece, just to get some pussy from that hoe. Cora was a really pretty young lady. I'll give her that. She was a really pretty young lady. She was thick. She had hips. She had a big booty. So all the men was loving her. They was breaking. She was breaking in some cash at one point. She was that hoe was paying the rent. So I was like, well, I do have a cause for her now. Now she can make me some money or whatever. So I started making money off that bitch, and I'm sorry, y'all. Sometimes I get emotional talking about my daughter because I do miss her. Rest in peace. I do miss her. But I started making money off her or whatever. I did get sick of Cora eventually. She was always around. She was irritating me. My family started watching her less because they had stuff to do. They had to go to work. They wanted to go out. They're getting older. They wanted to go out. So I did start to get sick of her, and I decided that I wanted to get rid of her for good. But what I meant by that is that I wanted to sell her into sex trafficking to get her out my hair. I started meeting up with pimps. I had people that would buy her for a certain amount of time, and I was working with other pimps, and I was trying to sell her into sex trafficking completely. But we was trying to get to a certain price and making sure that I get paid off, because that's my fucking property. So I wanted to make sure that I got paid off at least enough money for you to keep her for good. But we were still talking about pricing or whatever. And Cora passed away not long before her birthday. So she was going to be sold, like probably on her birthday she was going to be sold. But unfortunately, she didn't make it that far. And let me tell y'all what happened. And this is where I'm getting through. So I was going to sell her into sex trafficking. I was making a good amount of money off of her. I had people that was working with me that was helping me find clients, because he didn't want the police to get onto what we was doing. And you know, you can easily meet somebody that's pretending to be a client, and then there's people out there who don't know how to mind their own business. So they're going to try and call the police or whatever. So that's why I was working with actual pimps who actually already had regular clients that they knew wasn't going to snitch.
Like I said, it's just an example. Whether it's real or not, for some reason, I wouldn't be surprised if it is fully real. I really wouldn't be surprised. I mean, the curses are real though, because you can go from there. We could just scroll down and see other stuff. I mean, we're gonna skip all the talking about our imagination. Yeah, that's cool. It's probably fake, but look at this though. Mother gets into a heated argument with her daughter after she thought her daughter was having relations with her boyfriend. Well, damn. Mother whoops her 16-year-old daughter for stealing her car. Woman goes off and beats her pedophile boyfriend after her 12-year-old daughter told her that her boyfriend molested her when she wasn't home. Look how real this is real. LOL. What was she whispering? Little girl caught making out with her invisible boyfriend. I could stop there. I could stop right there. Look at this one. Where did she learn that from? Little girl says, "What's up, blood?" while in the car with her parents. I mean, you know, look, back at it. Brittany Renner plays an excerpt from her book where she admits to being turned on from a man spitting in her mouth. Hooker jumps out the car. I mean, like, look, this is all our people. This is all our people. You know? Snoop, nobody give a fuck, old ass Snoop. Unbelievable. But as fictional as her story may be, I just brought up 4 or 5 other videos not far-fetched. Not far from what this could be about. That these scriptures still apply. Okay? Because terrible mothers and the lack of connection between mother and children. And the scriptures above this say that there's a disconnect also with the fathers. Okay, there's a disconnect also between the mother and the father. Okay. But particularly the examples of bad mothers, because the court system knew, messing around with Esau and his bad rulership, his bad management of the planet, bad management of the people, trying to destroy Jake, knowing that putting the mother in control of the children will destroy our people. What did he do? He gave them to the mothers. So the Most High would be nowhere in sight to guide the people. So the father would be nowhere in sight to help guide the people, because that's where the connection goes. Pursuing the 1 Corinthians 11 chapter, the father still has a connection to Yahweh Shai, which has a connection to Yahweh. But without the father around, which is in the laws, can't get all these government benefits with the man around. Look up Isaiah the 10th chapter. Okay. Talk about these unrighteous decrees. All right. And so you see how our people are easily destroyed. And then you put all these entertainment women out there, stripper women and whatever else. Put all these conniving ass men around these women, trying to make a little money off these little hoes and little dirty hoe and whatever else. Talking about an infant child, man. Boyfriends sleeping with women's children. It's ridiculous, man. Ridiculous. Okay, that's in the law. That's in the law. You can't sleep with the mother and the daughter. Matter of fact, I didn't even pull that one. One moment, let me pull that one. Here it is right here, Leviticus 18, chapter 18, verse 17. It says, "Thou shalt not uncover the nakedness of a woman and her daughter. Neither shalt thou take her son's daughter, or her daughter's daughter, to uncover her nakedness, for they are her near kinswoman. It is wickedness." You can't take a woman and her daughter. Okay? It's against the laws of the Most High. It's too close. All right? I mean, in that Leviticus, the 18th chapter goes, all the sexual illicitness that we're supposed to stay away from as the children of Israel. Okay? Well, let me go to Leviticus 19. We'll go toward, get the law on what the woman began to do, selling her daughter into sex trafficking and pedophilia rings and whatever else, right? It says, "Do not prostitute thy daughter to cause her to be a whore, lest the land fall to whoredom and the land become full of wickedness." And any sane mind would naturally begin to think of this as someone, a young girl, or any girl or woman or whatever, above the age of puberty. You wouldn't consider this to be at the age of infancy, man. But it's not far-fetched. As deep in her imagination as this may come from, it's not far-fetched. Okay? Like those other stories were not far-fetched. All right? Not supposed to prostitute thy daughter to cause her to be a whore. That's what she literally did. She said she died. Right? Moving on. Let's go to Job. I'm gonna just run through these scripts now, because this was literally sickening, as the story says. It says, which leaveth her, this is Job 39:14, which leaveth her eggs in the earth and warmeth them in dust. This is talking about a peacock. This is talking about an ostrich, okay, in particular, but given the characteristics of an ostrich. But in analogy, it's also talking about the women of our nation in their destroyed state. All right? Which leaveth their children in confusion. Let the streets raise them. That's why I short the boys in the hood. clip first. Cheryl, come get your babies out the street. All right? Israelite women, get your babies out the street, man. Care for them. Where are you at? What are you doing that you don't know where they at? That they're just running off out of control. And this generation that we're looking at now of these young teenagers that's out there now, between the ages of probably younger than this. I was seeing a clip of a little 4-year-old girl on Ellen talking to the little dancer guy on Ellen or whatever. She said she was bad and bougie, and she was dancing, and the audience clapped like it was a beautiful thing to see. They was proud of the little girl when she said she was bad and bougie. Unbelievable. Look how far we've fallen from glory, okay? Our people have fallen completely away from glory. Completely away. I mean, you see the truth of how low we've come in the descriptions of Jeremiah, the 2nd chapter, how far away we've fallen from glory. Okay? So this talking about an ostrich, which leaveth her eggs in the earth and warmeth them in the dust, and forget that the foot may crush them. Don't even care about them, that the streets may destroy them, that they themselves and their own bad habits could destroy your kids. Okay? Or that a wild beast may break them, that these pimps, that these pedophiles may come and snatch your kids and mess them up. These pedophiles and molesters and on and on and on, man. It's crazy how many cases that women that you may run into talking about they've been molested. Israelite women, Hispanic, so-called Negro, Native, I'm sure too, that have accounts of being molested. Crazy, man. Says she is hardened against her young ones. That chick was talking super hard against her 4-month-old daughter. Okay, and even as she was, I hope. The story could be what it was, but in all these cases of these stories, these women were hardened against their young ones. Gets into heated argument with her daughter after her daughter is caught having relations with her boyfriend. Mom whoops her daughter for stealing their car. Woman beats her pedophile boyfriend after her 12-year-old daughter told her that her boyfriend molested her when she wasn't home. Why would you put them in a situation to be in that? In that type of situation? And girl making up with an invisible boyfriend. She is hardened against her young ones. Okay? As though they were not hers. Like she didn't give a fuck about them. I gotta say it rough. Pardon my French. Pardon my English. Whatever you want to say. But there's no other way to express this. The disgust that you get from reading into this. Okay? She is hardened against her young ones as though they were not hers. Her labor is in vain without fear. Yeah, you say you raising them. I'm mother of the year. I'm raising my kids. Like a couple years ago, and when those kids were looting out in Baltimore, and then the mother of the year shows up to get her kids out the street. No, the real mothers of the year was at home with their kids. She didn't have to go get the kids out the streets from stopping their son from throwing bricks or whatever he was. I don't even remember what the story is about anymore. Because they caught it on video. The real mothers of the year were at home with their children at home doing homework or whatever they were doing. They weren't out looting in the street. You don't make mother of the year. You make mother of the year when you raise them the right way, not to be out there running around causing mischief in the street. Not because you stopped them in the midst of it. There was a preventative, something that should have happened long before that. Okay, that's the mother of the year. That's the fathers of the year. Okay, when they've been raising their children the right way the whole time. Okay, not all of a sudden, you can get out of here because they got cameras. Man, this place is out of control and ass backwards. Yeah, it says, Verse 17, because the Most High have deprived her of wisdom, neither has he imparted to her understanding. Because that's the man's role. That's the husband role. And Esau knows this and removes the man out of the situation. But when you read up in Deuteronomy, you'll see that the man and the woman, he would leave because he ain't going to deal with the BS. Then you go to Jeremiah, the 31st chapter, and the 22nd verse. It tells you that a woman shall compass a man in power. Esau gave this woman power. And she can say yes or no or call 911, and she get all the rights. You know, I mean, they're trying to act like it's more balanced now, but it's not a whole lot more balanced. Okay? Well, the man got something to worry about. The police show up to arbitrate the situation and mediate the situation, and the man can end up dead. Shit, nowadays the woman can end up dead too. Somebody can end up dead nowadays, just for calling the police to try to, settle what's going on in the house. You know, it's the dynamic of these curses are real. Okay, the dynamic of these curses are real, and we are still under curses today. Okay, we're looking at it, and I'm sure by the time this airs, by the time this video gets uploaded, you go right back on WorldStar, right on the internet, and there's more and more similar and worse situations going on. So from there, let's go to Lamentations. I'll close out with this in Lamentations. 4th chapter, we'll start around the 3rd verse. So even the sea monsters draw out the breast and give suck to their young ones, nurture and care about their children. Even a sea monster nurtures and cares about their children. These on here don't. I'm going to leave him with my new boyfriend. I know you 12. I know you starting to develop into a woman. But I'm going to leave him home with you. I know you like boys now at school. But I don't pay attention to that because I like me a man. I like this man that's coming around here. Oh, and he see a younger version of me in you, and he want you. The younger, fresher version. This is, man, this place has got to go. The way this world is ran right now, it can't continue like this. The Most High is going to have to come back and hit the reset button. And he's going to hit it, and when he does, I'm talking about he sent his only begotten son down to do it. And when he hits that reset button, it's going to be with a lot of death and a lot of fire and a lot of vengeance and a lot of indignation. Righteous anger. All right? So let me read. It says, the daughter of my people is become cruel like the ostriches in the wilderness. That's why I read the ostrich scripture in Job. They become like the ostriches in the wilderness. Crushing them, leaving them in the dust to get them warm, forgetting that a beast could come through and eat them and destroy them. That the ostrich herself could step right on her own children and crush them. Okay? I said, the tongue of the suckling child cleaveth to the roof of his mouth for thirst, for knowledge, for teaching, for nurture. Okay? You can't get our women to breastfeed to keep the connection going. You know? And giving the child what he needs and the woman what she needs. Emotionally, physically, and growing the connection between you and your child without having some type of resentment for your children. It says, the young children ask bread, and no man breaketh it unto them. No one's feeding them. No one's showing them the ways of life, the real things. I'm going to pimp this little hoe out because she's a little dirty little hoe. Too common. It's too common. It says, they that feed delicately. I want to read that. Yeah, I might as well. Yeah, it says, they that feed delicately are desolate in the streets. They that are careful about how they're raising their children. It's hard to find people like that. Okay, it's hard to find people like that. Nowadays, you'll find them within the elect, man, raising our children. And of the other nations, you look at some of these heathens, and they love their children. You can see in their actions they teaching their children. Some of them don't give a damn either. But it was in our law to make sure that we took care of our children, to teach our children the statutes, laws, and commandments, which would guide them to being well-balanced and well-mannered children and people upon the earth, young princes and princesses. Okay? It says, are desolate in the streets. They that were brought up in scarlet. Scarlet is like an attention color, a color of power, of royalty. I think it may even say purple there, but it says scarlet. For that word scarlet, it says embrace dunghills. Embrace a bunch of bullshit, man. Embrace a bunch of bullshit. Dung is BS and a dunghill is a pile of shit, okay? It says, for the punishment of the iniquity of the daughters of my people is greater than the punishment of the sin of Sodom, to be destroyed, okay? It's to be destroyed. Our people are to be destroyed. They can't even raise their own children right, okay? It says that was overthrown in a moment and no hand stayed on her. Let me jump down to verse 10. It said, the hands of the pitiful woman have sodden their own children. Have cooked them, man. Killed them and cooked them. Okay? And that's why I said earlier that it's going to be easy for these people to go to cannibalism and eat their own children again. Okay? Because they don't give a damn two shits about them. She get me in trouble. Because you left her at home and she's probably in there crying. I know that's the part you left out, that the baby was in there crying, probably hungry or whatever else. Why couldn't you take the baby wherever you was going? Anyway, the hands of the pitiful woman have sodden their own children. They were their meat in the destruction of the daughter of my people. The Lord hath accomplished his fury. He has poured out his fierce anger and hath kindled a fire in Zion, and it hath devoured the foundations thereof. They have devoured us with these curses, man, with his indignation for us, with his fury on these curses. And there's one more major ass whooping coming in the day of the Lord. Okay? Where you're going to see the worst of the worst. Because apparently you people are too blind to see how bad the situation is now. How bad society is. I played this story, but there was 3 or 4 other stories. You know? Look. There's other stories of this stuff going on. There's other stories of this stuff going on. It's unbelievable. Anyway, man, Lord willing, this was edifying. You know, we got to get out of here, man. We got to get rid of this stuff. We got to get out of here. The management of the earth has to be overthrown and taken down. And the 2/3 got to go. 2/3 of the nation of Israel, you so-called Negro, Latino, and Native Americans, man, you guys got to go. You are polluting the nation, okay? And you read the book of the law and the books of Moses, it tells you to remove uncleanness and wickedness from the people of Israel. Because the 2/3 are polluting this nation, okay? Polluting this nation. Anyway, giving all praise and glory unto Yahweh, Bashim Yahushai, Bashim Rakakwadash, double honors to the apostles and the elders at the great millstone. Greetings, salutations, and blessings unto the elect. To the next one, man. And this is going to continue to worsen and worsen as time goes on. Just wait and see until the Most High truly moves on you people and allows you to get destroyed, man. Shalom unto the elect.